Hey guys, this is Chania and welcome back to my channel, and we have Meenal today with us, and she is from Chhattisgarh. She has been working in a service-based company, and she left her company and she pursued her higher education, and now she is going to enter in one of the biggest e-commerce company in the world. So let's hear from her how it has been for her, how did she crack her interviews, and what made her to choose higher studies, and how worth it was for her.
Hi Chandni.
Hi.
So let me tell you something about myself. So I am Meenal Shukla. So I started in one of the service-based company after graduating from Mount College, a private institute. Then as soon as I started my career, I felt the need to increase my knowledge on data warehousing, and the data field I was very amused by it. So I started to think that I should have more knowledge, a deeper knowledge in it. So I quit my job, and then I went for preparation for GATE examination, which is an entrance test for post graduation. Then after clearing GATE examination, I got admission in IIIT Bangalore. So there I got data science, and I started learning more about data, how to play with it, and all those things.
Okay, that's nice. So, what made you to choose your profile? I mean, what you must be having your some certain profile, right? So, what interest you to go for it?
So actually, when I started my career in one company, there I was like, we don't get to choose our streams. So I was allotted into data warehouse. Now as we started the journey or the trainings, I started getting that kick that we get. No?
Okay.
So
you basically liked it, whatever you
I liked, yeah. But I instantly felt that whatever we were doing in those companies were very minimal, and we need to get more knowledge on it.
Okay, so what was your focus point, and how did you crack your interview? Can you share something for freshers, and how did you approach, and how many rounds it took you?
Yeah, sure. So after getting into IIIT, then we all started our journeys studying, and the professors are really good. They also guide you. But then there is 2-3 very good websites that I think all the freshers should go through. If you want to really prepare for data structures, that is the one thing that every software developer will face. Okay, so the first round in all the interviews will be data structure and algorithms. So I'll give you 2-3 websites like Geeks for Geeks, InterviewBit, and LeetCode. So, and HackerRank for practice. So that you should always go through.
And we'll mention that in my link below. You can go through the description and see the websites as well. So how many rounds were there, and how did you, there must be some questions, some difficult questions for you. How did you acknowledge all the questions?
Actually, when you start reading with these websites that I mentioned, so there is level by level we have to crack the question. So for any data structure question, like say find the length of a string palindrome. So if you go for that question, first of all you can solve it in order of n complexity, time complexity. Then the interviewer will always expect you to reduce the complexity. Okay. So then you reduce it as much as you can. Then they will give you a hint. They are always supportive because they have come there and they want to hire you. So that is the main perspective of an interviewer. So they will try to give you hints. Just follow up on those hints and try to reduce the time complexity and then space complexity.
And what if someone fails to answer, or someone takes too much time to answer? Does it affect your interview?
Actually, if you take too much time, they will try to give you hints. If you have to be very, you have to listen very properly when you are getting those hints and try to implement those in your answers. If by chance you are not able to pick up those hints, just tell clearly, be very frank with them. You can
So
tell them.
does being frank helps?
Actually, it
It
does.
doesn't look very arrogant if you like directly say on their faces that I don't know, you can switch the question or change the question.
No, actually, it nowadays it really helps. Earlier, it used to be a different scenario, but nowadays, interviewer expects you to be very upfront with what you know. No beating around the bush. Just tell upfront that maybe this topic you have not touched or not gone into depth.
So, what do you think for your role? What all skill set are required?
Okay, so
Okay, I want you to answer it with respect to freshers. Okay, and if some experienced guy, let's say like 4-5 years, so what is the difference between them? What do they expect out of them?
So when you are starting out, when you are a fresher, so as a fresher, the company never expects you to know it all. They always want whatever you are saying, that whatever you have written in your resume, you should know that. So don't fake your resume. This is the first advice I'll give. Don't fake your resume. So whenever anything you have written, say you have written Java, then you should know Java.
Okay.
And if you don't know an advanced version, then you write core Java. Then they will ask you those questions only. So for freshers, it's like basic level. They are trying to understand how you're thinking. So whenever they're asking you a question, they try to analyze how you're thinking, how you're approaching the questions. And coming to experienced version, so I recently gave few interviews. What I felt was the interviewer were more likely to understand what I have worked on.
So basically your ex projects.
Yeah. So the organization wise, what you have worked, how much you have contributed, how much what you are bringing onto the table, because technology every fresher guy can know, right? But what you have innovated, how much you are able to apply your knowledge into the code. So that is the difference.
So how do you keep yourself updated with the technology? And there must be, so many tools coming up in the market every single day.
Correct, yeah. So you don't have to actually know it all, but you should know the basic of everything, because when you have to actually implement it, you should know that there is something like this which is available. So YouTube.
Okay.
Go through new upcoming technologies in YouTube. They are the without giving any cost, they will give you so much knowledge.
Okay. So can you be very precise about for your profile what all tools and skill sets are required?
Yeah, sure. So actually, I started in Cisco with a software developer, as a software developer, and now in the new organization, which we are not going to name.
Okay.
So in the new organization, which is in e-commerce, so there I am going to act as a data engineer.
Okay.
So all those people who really want to switch their profile, sometimes they are not happy with the current profile and then they want to switch, it can happen.
Okay.
So you have to just know that what you are doing, and what you really want to do, you need to have that knowledge in it. And as a software developer, you need to know, first of all, in India actually, the current need which is never going to go off is Java, because all the legacy softwares that the company are using the base is Java. So you should have Java very thoroughly if you want to be a software developer. Then some front end like Angular, and then back end Java, JSP, JavaScript. Those are the basic things for a software developer. Then for data engineer, because my background was data science from IIIT, so I had an abundance of knowledge in that area.
Okay.
But
That's good, no?
Yeah, that's always very good. But the thing was, when I was hired, it was a campus selection for Cisco. So at that time you cannot negotiate on profile, because in campus selection they come and they already have in mind as a fresher, you cannot negotiate.
Okay.
So you just want to get selected somewhere.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But what if like somebody, try to negotiate? Do they take them or they just leave them behind?
As a fresher, I would say it is very difficult, because you don't actually have the actual knowledge of industry. The exposure is not there, so you cannot quite negotiate, I would say. But once you have an experience and you have the background knowledge, then you can try to negotiate. And for the profile also, whether it should be software software engineer 2, or it should be software engineer 3. All those things can be done.
So how do you see yourself with your coming company? I mean, you must be having some goals, some career path in your mind. So can you just tell us about that?
Okay, so I would always suggest that keep a short-term goal and a long-term goal.
Okay.
So the short-term goal will be something that you see in next 3 months, and the long-term will be like you have to achieve in next 5 years.
So what are your goals?
And that will reserve for myself. But for everyone, I'll say always have a 3-month goal. Be it reading or completing a course, anything.
Okay.
So just have a 3-month goal, because otherwise, after joining a company and start earning, you'll get lost, because you're earning, you're getting everything, you don't have time, and the weekends, whatever you have, it just flew by. So try to have a short-term goal and then see a vision that what you see about, like say 5 years you want to be software developer 5, a manager or what. So work towards that.
Okay, so in your professional life, you must be facing some challenges, right? Like some skill sets that are required, and you might not have everything with you. So how do you cope up with that? How do you deal with that? And if at all, if you follow someone, and if you like to share with everybody, whom do you follow, and if it helps, so.
Okay. So we all will not be a perfect person, so we need to always enhance our knowledge. And being in the IT industry, you always need to get updated.
Yeah.
So there, I do keep on Googling, and I do try to keep myself updated with the latest technology coming in, because then only you can design a software properly. So also I would say nowadays in market you'll see so many new courses coming up from various institutions, big institutions, and they're saying like 1 year. In 1 year you can do data science, in 2 years you can, like 1 year mostly I've seen like 6-month courses or 1 year courses. They actually, one of my friend has taken those, and I went through the material. It's very good. So the materials are good, but you don't expect to get placed with that.
Okay.
So because the diploma courses will not land you a job, they will only land you knowledge.
So how do, if they want to grab a job, how should they approach?
So if you really want to have a job change, then LinkedIn is one thing that you can. If you are reading something, getting some certificates from Udemy or Coursera. Coursera is also one of the very good source. Udemy is also good, but and at cheaper side.
Okay.
But those certificates are not going to land you a job. So don't think of them as an cashing amount for a job. So just try to give more interviews, try to practice more coding. That is what I would say.
Okay. Do you follow any YouTuber?
I follow Mukesh Khane.
Okay.
And for testing, software developer and testing, he uploads very nice videos. You should all go and check it out.
Okay, thanks for that, Meenal. So now if I want to, apply for your profile and crack some interview in a good company, how should I do it, and what should I do it, and what all should be my focus point? Can you just give a brief about it?
Yeah, sure. So the first thing will be in every interview at like a reputed organization like Cisco and some e-commerce companies, it will be like the first stage will be your data structure and algorithms for a software developer, SDE, software developer engineer. So there you need to know data structure and algorithm properly. So you go through Geeks for Geeks, and you go through LeetCode and HackerRank. There you have to, for sure, don't leave the topic for linked list and trees. They are little difficult, but they are widely asked. So go through that. And the second thing will be in the second round, if you have cracked the first round, they will go for designing round. If you are an experienced person, if you are not experienced, then mostly they will ask for your projects. like what all you have done in whichever university you are passing out from. So that you need to know very thoroughly. Like if you are saying that you have developed a website, then you should know that how to host it, how to create a DB, what all mapping columns are there, everything you need to know. And if you are an experienced person, then they will ask for designing. Design questions will be varying from, like they'll ask for design a bounce. So Bounce is one of the latest company we know, right?
Okay.
So they asked me actually, so I'm telling my questions. They asked me to design a system which is a Bounce system, and now they're trying to upgrade their system.
Okay.
And they currently they are only giving out bikes, but now they want to give out cars as well for rental purpose.
Okay.
So how will you make changes in those, and what are the things that you will keep in mind? What are the changes in DB layer and what are the changes in application layer? All those things in the designing round will be there. So yeah, these 2 rounds, and then the third round will be more in depth of these 2 only. So that is the third round. And the fourth round, what was asked from me was the projects that I have already worked on, and very depth knowledge for Spark and AWS, which are the technologies I worked on. It was there in my resume.
Okay.
So if you have written Spark, then you should know how to code in Spark. So nowadays, because of the COVID situation, they are trying to like how they ask in the interviews are they ask you to share your screen and then write code, and the code should be proper, like all the if else should be handled.
Okay.
That is how it is now.
So guys, there is no cheating, okay?
No cheating. And the video will be on, you'll be sharing your screen, so everything will be there. And for data engineer, for data engineer profile, you need to know Spark very well. With it, you can use Scala or Python as a language, whichever you want. I used Scala, and we used for infrastructure we used AWS. So there are some questions like how will you manage like the core size of any EMR or all those things, very technical.
Yeah, it's okay. That's what I mean.
Yeah. So for data engineer, the third or fourth round, they will start going through your resume and ask you questions on your project and the technology you have listed. One of the questions that I remember was they gave a text file and it had like all the books names.
Okay.
Now they asked me to write a code where I have to make a data frame in such a way that it is stored line by line.
Okay. Sounds literally tough.
Yeah, then no, this was not tough. Then the next question, the follow-up question will be tougher.
Okay.
So then they asked some follow-up questions like now split, count the number of words in it, split it using some regex. So all the people who know data science will know that regex we can use. So all those questions will be there, and the follow-up questions will be quite harder. So think in that perspective that what all can be done in this data, and you'll be able to crack it.
Okay, that's like very helpful, Meenal. Okay, Meenal, so one more question. Why did you leave your job? I mean, was it a tough decision and worth leaving it?
Yeah, so actually it's a very tough decision, because when after you have completed your engineering and you got a job, and you have started earning and you start living on your own, then you block that source of income. Now you are again going to be a dependent person. So that is quite a tough choice, but I feel it's worth putting yourself through, because so I started working in one of the service company, right? So the pay grade or the skill that is required and the way the freedom of handling a project was not there, because you are working for a company. Okay, and I will always suggest everyone to actually increase your knowledge, go for post graduation.
Okay.
And the pay scale is more, much more now, and the freedom to handle the project is much more. the knowledge base increases. So yeah, it's a tough choice, but we should go for it.
Okay, so that's really helpful, Meenal. And apart from this, what hobbies do you have? What do you do?
So I I do dance sometimes.
Okay,
And I'm not very good at it, but I do. And I'm excellent painter.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Sometimes
Okay.
I'll show you my
Yeah,
drawings.
sure.
So out of our busy lives and weekends, you should have a hobby, have a passion.
Yeah. So having hobbies, does this help in your personal development and during your work and all such times?
Yeah, actually, I feel it is very helpful for me because when I am actually doing a sketching or a painting, I am in different world only.
Okay.
So all the stress, all the work, everything is forgotten.
Okay.
And we go into the different space, and you come back with a new life. So passion is very important.
Okay, so if you don't have passion, please develop one and follow it, okay?
Yeah.
So with this, we end it here, and I hope this information is really helpful for you guys, and it helps you to crack your interview and have some goals in your life. So guys, if this is really helpful for you and you really want to go ahead, and so if you want to gain some more knowledge in depth, so let me know in the comment section below, and I'll ask Meenal to come again and share her knowledge with you, and we can have some Q&A rounds as well live with Meenal. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So thank you, Meenal, for being with me here today and giving your precious time and knowledge here.
Thanks, Chandni. And guys, if you like the video, please like, share with everyone, and subscribe, Chandni.
Thank you.